that boy? That's Sam. His mama took off. He'll be staying with us till she's back.
You know your boy, right?
Yeah.
In the hours that I've known.
I'm mailing it back with Fisher Stevens. He is the director of Palmer. Welcome, Fisher.
Thank you so much for having me on your show, and I wish your audience could see your beautiful background.
They can see it. They will see it.
You'll see it. Okay. By Home Away from Home.
I know. So tell me about this backdrop. What does it mean for the film?
Well, this particular moment in the film is it's kind of a heavy moment. The little boy Sam and his mom, played by Ryder Allen, plays Sam, and Juno Temple plays his mother, are going to move in with her not so nice boyfriend, played by Dean Winters, Mr. Mayhem on the Allstate commercials. They're going to leave the grounds where Palmer lives, Justin Timberlake, who's kind of been a sort of father figure to this boy, and they're going to go embark on a whirlwind and something that could really affect Sam, poor Sam's life, and he's going to have to leave school and change schools, and it's just upheaval for a young 7-year-old. So what you're seeing is the packed Toyota pickup of Jerry, Dean Winters, about to whisk this boy away from Justin's care.
And now let's first talk about Ryder Allen, who is so delicious. He reminds me of Tatum O'Neal meets Ricky Schroeder.
Wow. Well, it's funny you say Tatum O'Neal, because one of my inspirations for this film was Paper Moon.
Really?
Yeah, I watched Paper Moon a lot. I love the film. I actually called the director, Peter Bogdanovich, and asked him how he directed Tatum to get some advice. And he gave me beautiful advice.
What did he say?
He told me one thing he always learned, or one thing he did with Tatum, was that he would get down to her level and always direct her, looking at her in her eyes, never looking down. And then he would speak to her like she was an adult, like she was her dad in that case, because her dad was the co-star, or like she was Madeline Kahn or another actor in the film. And he said it's very important also not to destroy their confidence and to keep their confidence strong, but at the same time, not cater to them because they're younger in that sense, and keep them feeling like, they are an essential element and that they're doing a great job, but at the same time, keep it like on their level. So I found his advice really helpful, and I'm very grateful. I actually give him a special thanks in the film.
Well, it certainly paid off, because Ryder is just so wonderful in this. And I can only imagine how many kids you had to go through to actually find him.
Yeah, it was difficult. We almost had the movie up and running about a year earlier with a different cast. Actually, Justin wasn't involved.
Can you say who was going to play the role?
Well, we didn't. I never locked it down. But it was looking like a couple of different people. So I had to kind of start finding this boy, because I knew it was going to be a very big journey. But Justin was not one of the people. And I found this boy that I quite liked, and thought, okay, well, at least I got the boy, so let's try to not lock down the Palmer. And it just never happened. And then somebody, I was making a documentary at the time with Leonardo DiCaprio, and his manager read the script and had suggested Justin Timberlake, who I didn't actually even have on my radar for the role.
Wow.
Knowing that he's a great actor, knowing he was great in the Coen Brothers movie and Fincher's film, Social Network, and many other things, but I just didn't compute about it. And then, he's from the South. He understands these people. So I got him the script, and he, it wasn't just like, hey, Justin, you want to do my movie? Yeah, sure, Fisher. No, it was a longer, he's a big pop star. He was on tour, doing a 8-month tour. I knew I had to be patient, but after talking to him and after kind of working very hard on just explaining to him my vision for the film, making him feel comfortable, making him feel that we're going to surround ourselves with the best people. He said, look, I'll do the film, but we have to get this kid right. We have to cast this kid. And I had this other kid in mind, but actually by the time we were ready to go, that boy had grown. So I had to find somebody else. And Justin said, look, I'll give you 2 days. We'll just read with kids, and he said, give me 6 kids at least. I'll read with 100 if you have them. But so I had 5 that I was pretty confident about, and then I needed a 6th, and Ryder was like that 6th kid.
Wow, that's kismet. That is so great. Justin's very busy these days.
Yeah, he's busy. He performed at the inauguration.
Yep.
I feel like this movie is coming out at the right time too, with what's going on with our country. And Biden, I just watched his speech about unity, and we really do need a kind of moment of unity here in this country. And it was one of the reasons I wanted to make this film, because I feel like it brings all these worlds together. And I just felt like it was the right moment for this film, and it certainly is now more than ever.
It truly is. And I understand that you and Justin actually met with the Worsh.
Rick Worsh, White Boy Rick.
Yes. So what kind of insight did he give Justin into the role?
Well, we didn't actually meet in person because of Rick was at the end of his incarceration at the time. He's now out and free and wonderful. And I think Rick just gave both of us, I had numerous conversations with him and with a few other people that had served time. I think he gave them, Justin and me, an understanding of what life was like behind bars, about like the day-to-day, what went down, Rick's own transformation, Rick's own education, how Rick grew in jail, how Rick kind of rehabilitated himself in prison, what Rick faced on a daily basis, whether it was getting a meal, whether it was, being moved to a different penitentiary. It was a very informative moment for us. And I think Justin and I approached the film with a bit of, we wanted it to be authentic and real.
Yeah.
And it's not easy having Justin Timberlake star in your movie and having to kind of forget who he is. But I think he does a good enough job that right when it starts, you forget you're watching a pop star and you realize you're watching Eddie Palmer. So that was the one thing that we really focused on with the writer Cheryl, was to make everything real, and then to bring it to the production design, to the cinematography, to the costumes, to the whole essence of the film, that it is like you're watching real life and real people. That was kind of the mantra that we had making the film.
I want to ask you, Fisher, this film has an R rating, and it's kind of odd because it's going to be streaming. So how can you prevent younger kids from seeing it? There is a really steamy scene with Justin and Juno Temple in, I would say, like the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, I know. This was the script, and this was the vision that the writer and Justin and I had. And, hopefully the parents will put their eyes over, or their hands over their kids' eyes if they want to watch the film at that moment. It's very fast. So it goes quickly. But it was real life, and it was another thing that the writer Cheryl, we talked a lot about being incarcerated and what it means, and not having any human physical contact. And Palmer never had that. So when there is that opportunity, that's what happens. And Juno was kind of a miracle.
I love her.
Yeah, she's incredible. And that was Justin and his manager's idea, Rick Yorn. Yeah, they had the idea of Juno because Justin's last film, which was like, at this point, I think he shot it 6 or 7 years ago, 6 years ago maybe, or was a Woody Allen film called Wonder Wheel.
Yeah.
And Juno was in the film with him. And when he read the script and Rick read the script, they were like, she's Shelley. And I'm like, interesting. And then, what we do as directors, we just go and we watch every single movie they ever made, like I did with Justin, like I did I couldn't do it with Ryder because Ryder had never been in a movie. So that was a different story. But yeah, she's an amazing actress. She hung out with some people that were struggling with drug addiction. She came early. Everybody came to the set early to rehearse because we shot the movie in 25 days. And the cast was so wonderful. We were like this little theater troupe, this community of actors coming together in a theater company. I think we all had a really great time. It didn't matter if you were, like Lance, who plays Sibs, the janitor, or Steven, who plays Daryl, or Lucille, Wynn, who plays Lucille. It doesn't matter what role you had. We all kind of were one in a company, so a unit.
Did anybody stay in the trailer behind me?
Juno wanted to, but we wouldn't let her.
Really?
Yeah, she was into it. She would hang out there, though. She would hang out in the trailer quite a bit. Yeah. Yeah, that's
So it's like a method acting kind of thing. She actually wanted to live in the trailer.
She got into it. Yeah, she got into it. Yeah, and the red truck that's behind you over your right shoulder was beside Sam, who wears this flying princess outfit, which is bright pink. There's no other bright colors in the film. You have the bold red of Jerry, who's kind of taking this boy away, whisking him out of his happiness. And then you have this pink dress, which is kind of this beautiful moment. Otherwise, everything is very muted. The tones are very much greens and blues and beige and dun color on purpose, which is also very much in keeping with where we shot and the area which we shot in. So we had a very, very unified color palette on purpose.
Well, it's such a beautiful story, Fisher. And you know, the fact that this little boy is going through this time at 7 years old and playing with dolls. You guys, both of you have sons. So how did the film resonate with you and Justin in that way?
Well, Justin and I joke about, like, we don't think we could have made this film before we were dads. It just gave us a much deeper understanding into Sam, basically, and into Palmer. Even though Palmer doesn't have children, you watch his metamorphosis of becoming a father, becoming a parent. My nephew, Max, was my inspiration for this film. He was very much like Sam at 7. And
Wow.
but he lived in a very liberal kind of bastion of Illinois in Chicago. And my sister and her husband were very supportive of Max. Max played with dolls. He liked to wear dresses. All of his friends were girls. And Max is now, enrolling in college and probably going to be, he will be in the theater or dance. He's amazing, beautiful kid. So I read that script and I just said, I need to tell this story. This is an important story that these characters need to be kind of brought to life. Palmer going for his second chance, so often, and I talked to Rick about this, you come out of prison and, you're dismissed instantly by people. You have a stain, you have a dark, look at what we've done to felons who serve time and, they can't vote in certain states. And, so I was fascinated by that journey that Palmer took, that kind of, he was such a golden boy of the community, a pillar, a star quarterback, athlete, getting a scholarship to LSU and then throwing away what he's got because he was injured and got addicted to painkillers. These are stories that are typical in America. These are stories that are typical around the world that need to be told. And I think that was what attracted Justin and I to making this film as well.
Well, it's certainly a beautiful story of hope and redemption, and I just love it. And it's airing January 29th on Apple TV. So,
and we're going to be in some movie theaters too that are open.
Good.
Yeah, around the country, especially in Louisiana where it was shot, and upstate New York where I live. And we're gonna safe with masks, 25% capacity. So some people hopefully can see it if your community is not having a high COVID, but we do know the reality. So we're grateful that Apple is putting it out there in the universe.
Fabulous. So maybe I'll take a little drive up in my red truck and go see it.
All right, good. Enjoy that truck. We're gonna make it electric. We're gonna make it electric for you.
Perfect.
We'll re-outfit it for you.
I love it. Thank you so much, Fisher, for joining me, and stay safe.
Okay, you too. Be safe. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
I can't abandon that boy. I will not abandon that boy.
Always news.
Always refreshing.
Always candid.
Always milling about.
Robin Milling delivers what celebrities are saying to you.